Hello, Bristol Rovers and Swindon Town both hoping to go up. Swindon to the First Division for the first time in their history. Rovers hoping to go back to the Second Division after a break of 8 seasons. Well, both needed goals in their home matches this afternoon at the start of these playoffs. But Rovers found it hard going against Fulham at Swindon Park.
Holloway on the overlap. Good cross.
Well, it wasn't any easier for Swindon against Crystal Palace at the county ground this afternoon. Swindon finished 6th in the Second Division, Crystal Palace 3rd. So Swindon really needed to cash in on home advantage this afternoon.
McLaughlin. This is Foley now. Foley going forward. Plays the ball to Shearer. Shearer with a chance. Shearer blasts it wide.
Welcome to our studio guest, Wimbledon manager Bobby Gould. Bobby, are you in favour of the playoff system?
I don't know whether the managers are, but definitely the supporters are. We've seen this afternoon supporters turn out in the thousands, and that's only good for the game, Roger.
Well, whatever you think of playoffs, they've certainly extended the end-of-season excitement. A crowd of...
Welcome back. So the Rovers will be taking a 1-0 lead to Fulham in that playoff semi-final. We'll be finding out from Bobby Gould in a moment if he thinks that's going to be enough. But first, the action from Swindon against Crystal Palace in the Second Division playoffs.
And the noise from the crowd will tell you that Swindon Town come out to the welcome from a rapturous 20,000 sellout crowd, taking the salute. Colin Calderwood and his team on the centre circle, with goalkeeper Fraser Digby in outstanding form this season. He hasn't missed a match all term, played in all 46 league games. Captained by Colin Calderwood, big number 6, one of 3 centre-backs. Midfielder Steve Foley has recovered from an ankle injury that kept him out of last week's game at Oldham. And Timmy Parkin is also back in the centre of the defence in place of John Gittins. Up front, a potent strike force, top scorer Duncan Shearer with 16, and Steve White, who got the winner here in the league against Palace 3 weeks ago. Well, as for Crystal Palace, they're captained by Welsh international centre-half Jeff Hopkins. A familiar figure in goal is Perry Suckling, the former Manchester United and England under-21 keeper. Palace without defenders Nebling and O'Reilly for this game, but up front they possess the most potent striking force in the Second Division. Mark Bright at centre-forward and Ian Wright, 54 goals between them this season. Palace to kick off through Ian Wright, 30 goals for him this season. Mark Bright is there as well. Wright plays it back. Long through ball, that's too far, straight away from Palace. Burke goes to create the overlap, but Barber crosses it. Bright, but Parkin gets his head there first. Cleared from Foley, on to King. Intercepted by White. In the middle is McLaughlin. This is Foley now. Foley going forward. Plays the ball to Shearer. Shearer with a chance. Shearer blasts it wide. Great work there. First of all from McLaren. Then Foley pushing the ball wide to Shearer. Shearer with the first good chance of the game. And blasting wide just to the right of the post. A Swindon throw from Hockaday. Trying to find Shearer. Touches it on to White. Palace cover back, Shearer again. Oh, across the goal from Shearer. Oh, from Hockaday. Into the midfield, Calderwood goes up, gets ahead to it first, Shearer. Headman, Shearer again, Suckling. And trouble there. Shearer goes in enthusiastically on Suckling. The protest from Pemberton, the fullback, and Hopkins and Headman. And Shearer is going to be spoken to by the referee, Mr. Holbrook. A word of warning, over-enthusiastic stuff. Swindon throw from Hockaday. White, pushed by Hopkins, but White controls it. McLaughlin comes down the blind side. White, flick ahead for Shearer. Shearer's the head. And just to the right of the post. Good play from Steve White. Held off the challenge from Hopkins and then floated a left-footed cross, a cross goal, and Shearer once again eluded his marker, got ahead to it, but it went just wide. And And it's McLaren with the free kick for Swindon. Looking for Shearer. But Barber gets ahead to it first for Palace. White flicks on for Shearer again. Shearer, and Suckling has to make a save. Number 9 is Mark Bright, and Ian Wright, number 10. But Calderwood gets the ball away, only as far as McGoldrick, though. McGoldrick pulls it back to Pardew. Pardew crosses. Shearer clears. A free kick from Ross McLaren. Parkin's gone forward. Hedman gets the ball. Foley, can he control? Crosses across, and Shearer goes in but falls over. McLaughlin, can he challenge for the ball? Barber's there. Hockaday through to Jones. Jones shirt held by Burke, and tempers rising now as Swindon went close again. Foley's good work on the ball. Shearer couldn't get ahead to it. Then McLaughlin held. Jones was up there, and hear the crowd roar now. They know this is the crucial time. Just before half-time, Hockaday with the free kick, cleared by Hedman. Only as far as McLaughlin, but the ball goes wide. Perry Suckling. Parkin, the head again. Shearer. And again Shearer. Looking for inside for White and Foley. On the right-hand side is Hockaday. Hockaday plays it inside, and a goal! An own goal! It's scored! An own goal, I think, from number 5. Jeff Hopkins, the own goal. The cross came in from David Hockaday, and Jeff Hopkins put the ball in his own net. A great piece of work by Swindon. Shearer challenged twice for the ball. Then Foley played it across to Hockaday, creating space on the right-hand side. And it was Hockaday whose cross was deflected in by Jeff Hopkins, the captain, to make the score. Swindon 1, Crystal Palace 0. So it's the 5th time they've met this season. Crystal Palace won the first 3. Swindon won here 3 weeks ago, 1-0, a goal by Steve White, and they're leading by 1-0 this time. But Crystal Palace have this free kick on the edge of the area. Ian Wright, master goal scorer, stands over it. Wright with a shot straight to Digby, who holds it well. Hockaday. Shearer heads on to White. White, can he get there? White with the ball. White has scored. No, it's come off the post. It bounced back off the crossbar. What a great shot from White, and the arms went up. Steve White going on through. The head-on came from Shearer. White had time, had control. It looked as though the ball was in, but it bounced back off the crossbar. Free kick to Palace, outside the area. Burke steps over the ball. Madden, header from Bright. McLaren, the free kick. Calderwood, in space. Calderwood plays the ball in and off the post and in from White. But the goal has been disallowed. White was there to head the ball in off the post, but the goal disallowed by referee Holbrook. Well, the free kick found Calderwood in space. His shot deflected, then off the bar. Steve White seemed to be in space with nobody to beat, a simple header in, but the referee decided that someone was offside. Well blocked by King, and King again. Can't control it this time. King back to McLaren. McLaren playing the ball forward for White. White now. 2 defenders on him. White to King. King down the left. King's cross. Suckling takes it as Foley goes in to challenge. Kicks ahead, looking for Bright. Parkin is there again. Bright controls it this time. Heads on to Madden on the left. Madden looking for Pennyfather. Pennyfather back to Burke. Burke finds Pennyfather again. Pennyfather the substitute. This corner for Crystal Palace from McGoldrick. Cleared by Foley. Back to McGoldrick. And in again this time from McGoldrick. Digby goes up, can't take it. penny farther, but cleared again by McLaughlin downfield. And the referee looks at his linesman, says 1 minute left. Time, he says. What is going to happen now? The referee says it must be one more offence. He looks again at his watch. Swindon leading by a goal to nil. The 2nd minute of injury time in the second half. Forward again from Swindon. There's White. White on the turn. White. Oh, he's fouled from behind by Headman. And again, reaction from White. The referee doesn't like it. But a free kick to Swindon. Now can Swindon make it 2? We are in the 3rd minute of injury time in the second half. The crowd sensing Swindon's last chance to get what would surely be a virtually unassailable 2-0 lead to take to Selhurst Park on Wednesday. They lead by a goal to nil already as King plays it through. Calderwood gets ahead to it. Cleared. Right, and that is it. The final whistle goes. The final whistle goes. And Swindon have won this match by a goal to nil. Swindon 1, Crystal Palace 0. Goal scored, an own goal by captain Jeff Hopkins from a cross by Dave Hockaday. Swindon did all the pressing in the first half, most of the attacking in the second half. They constantly looked dangerous through Shearer, particularly in the first half, and through White, and thoroughly deserved the ovation they're getting from this huge crowd here at the county ground as they go forward into the dressing room and on to Wednesday night's second leg of this playoff semi-final with an all-important lead of 1 goal to nil.
A margin that left Steve White, the man who could so easily have added 2 more goals, well pleased at a win that wasn't, in his opinion, half as simple as it looked.
Not at all easy. It was very hot out there. We're just pleased to keep the clean sheet. 1-0 would have obviously been better than 2-1 because they've got no away goals. But it would have been nice to get another goal. I thought we were worthy 1-0 winners. Possibly we should have scored more.
Still a 1-0 win is very important to take to London on Wednesday. What are your chances from now on?
That's right. The onus is on them now to come and attack us. Obviously they need 2 goals to win. If we could sneak 1 goal at Crystal Palace, then it will make it very difficult for them.
Thank you.
So Rovers and Swindon taking the narrowest of leads to London grounds next week, both in front by just 1-0. More on both of those games in a few moments. Let's have a look at the goal and the one that got away.
Good headed there by Timmy Parkin. Miscontrol, but it's got the right bounce. Shearer knocks it up to Stevie White. Just not a lovely little 1-2. And the sweeper system here, seeing the wide right player breaking. A bobble there, and Hopkins sliding back. It's like the Fulham connection, isn't it, really? Hopkins, the ex-Fulham player there, putting the ball into his net. Shearer here, we can see it from another angle. Stevie pops it back ever so nicely. And the wide right player getting advanced. There it goes. There's the bobble. And Perry Suckling landed on his backside. Another debatable decision here. Calderwood gets it under control, hits the crossbar. Stevie White just knocks the header back in. But if you watch carefully, the linesman must be given a decision because the referee here, once the ball has entered the net, makes that positive decision. There's Stevie White, just a nice little header. There she goes. But we don't see the referee there, but he made a positive decision on his linesman.
How do you see the Swindon situation then? They're 1 goal up in this match. They've got to go to Selhurst Park on Wednesday for the second leg.
It's another interesting tie. Speaking to Lou Macari, they're well experienced at playoffs. They succeeded last season. They know what it's all about. Going to Crystal Palace, though, Selhurst Park with Bright and Wright are a handful. Whether the sweeper system will hold them will be very interesting to find out, Roger.
Yes, indeed. Swindon 2 years ago came through the playoffs on that very ground at Selhurst Park. They'll have great vibes going back there on Wednesday night, particularly Steve White, who got 2 goals that night.
Yes, I think they all realise what they're going into, but in saying that, Bright and Wright have been a handful. Many managers in the First Division looked at them, including myself. That will be interesting.
You offered, you were telling me, a lot of money for that Wright and Bright. How much money was that?
Well, we went close to a couple of million because I believe they're very talented players.
And yet today, the Swindon defence kept the £2 million players that you were after, who have got 54 goals between them. They can't score against Swindon, though, can they? That's 2 matches running. They haven't.
I think it's 3 victories, 2 Crystal Palace and 2 for Swindon. Now we come to the big one, and it will be the big one, where there's a lot of tension, a lot of pressure, and it'll be interesting to see whether Timmy Parkin and Calderwood can hold them.
They've done it for the last 2 matches, and Alistair was telling me that Wright and Bright really didn't get a sniff today. That is good work by Swindon, isn't it?
It's excellent work. Lou Macari's worked very, very hard, along with Chick Bates and all the players, and I'm sure that they'll be well relaxed. That's the vital part this week, is to get the players nicely relaxed and to believe in their ability, believe in the system, and go out on Thursday and Friday, Wednesday respectively, to get the results.
OK, let's have another look at all that money you won for winning the FA Cup last season. And let's imagine you're right about the Rovers, so now you've got even more money to bet on Swindon's result at Selhurst Park.
I saw Swindon do very, very well at West Ham early on in the season, but I'm going for Crystal Palace in this one, Roger. I just think Bright and Wright will do the business.
Well, very interesting, Bob. You go for Rovers to get through to the finals, Swindon not to make it. I think both our West Country lads are going to make it. I think the name is written on it. This is the best in the West for us this year. But thanks very much for joining us, and we'll look forward to seeing the results of those matches. Been a super day today, more to come.
Thank you, Roger.
Playoff semi-final with Crystal Palace. The county ground can hold 19,500 spectators. On Sunday, it was to come close to that number. The police operation to control that sort of crowd had to be stepped up, as described in the pre-match briefing.
The helicopter is also here. That has video surveillance and will be used for the escort from and to the railway station.
That eye in the sky was constantly used, and shepherding of some 4,500 Crystal Palace fans also needed the presence of police horses from London. Several hundred away fans turned up without tickets. They were allowed in the end to buy tickets to avoid any trouble. In all, the capacity crowd was policed by 150 officers. Many had their rest days cancelled to provide effective cover outside and inside the ground. It was an occasion when the surveillance cameras above the terraces came into their own. The crowd was marshalled with ease into empty spaces, ready for the appearance of the teams. It was the nearest thing to cup tie fever in the stadium, but the heat, 92 degrees in the middle, and a satisfactory result for the home fans, kept the lid on any trouble. There were only 5 arrests throughout the afternoon for drunkenness and obstruction. Well, the man who masterminded the smooth police operation fully realises the implications of having Sundays as the match day.
What it means for us is that there are more high-priority matches during the season, which means that we're more likely to want 150 men per match. That's the implication. Men have got to lose their rest days, and the implication of every Saturday afternoon they've got to be doing football duty, or every other Saturday afternoon. So that's the implication, really.
Superintendent Rogers believes that Sabbath day games would be the answer to any hooliganism.
I like to think that we look at high priority matches on a Sunday. We've certainly done that during this season, where we've changed Saturday to Sundays, and that works because you don't have the town centre to worry about, and it's an obvious advantage to us. Equally, of course, the public houses are not open right throughout the afternoon, so when they come out, the pubs are shut. So that's another implication which I like playing on Sundays.
The Crystal Palace fans left peacefully by their thousands to travel home by car. First Division opponents, though, may not be so easy to tame, even on a Sunday.
The National Sports Centre at Bisham Abbey tomorrow to prepare for Wednesday's vital playoff second leg against Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park. His only injury worry, Steve Foley, who despite an ankle injury played a key part in yesterday's well-planned first leg win. The pattern of the game was set early on. Parkin's control of Bright in the air nullifying Palace's greatest threat. Then Swindon showing speed on the break. And the battling of Foley in midfield, while clever runs from White and in this case Shearer troubled Palace all afternoon. Again, note the way the two strikers lay the ball off to each other. Shearer to White and back again, creating vital space, even though the finishing showed a touch of nerves. The ability of McLaren to find the target men from the set piece was also crucial. Shearer now, and then clever work again from White, but Shearer can't get power into the shot. And the goal, when it came, again stemmed from Parkin's aerial dominance. Shearer's battling in midfield. A clever layoff from White, and the vision of Foley in seeing Hockaday steaming up on the right. Hockaday's low cross, Palace captain Hopkins desperately defending to put the ball in his own net. From another angle, note Shearer's clever pass from the outside of his right foot, White with his back to goal laying off to the better placed Foley, and Foley's pass perfectly weighted to find Hockaday. Well, Palace's best effort in fact came from a free kick, but 30-goal Ian Wright could only direct it straight to Fraser Digby. Then a great chance for Swindon to make it too. A poor header leaves White clear, but the crossbar keeps him out. Manager Macari can't believe it. The replay shows clever anticipation from White and good control. A great shot, but a couple of inches too high. Swindon continue to threaten from McLaren's free kicks. Calderwood in space. The deflection hits the bar. It seems a formality for White to head home, but the referee has spotted something. From a different angle, it seems that it must be Steve Foley, the number 7, who's gone offside. And a last chance to make it 2. King's free kick, Calderwood's head, Palace clear as the final whistle goes. And that leaves manager Lou Macari well pleased that his team is in the driving seat for Wednesday's replay at Selhurst Park.
There's no pressure on us. We're a goal in front. If we happen to lose a goal, it's all square again.
Will you be going out to defend the goal lead, or will you be going out to increase it?
I wouldn't think defensively that's the best attitude we can employ. I think we'll go forward and try and nick another goal.
And what are your chances then of going on to the next, to the final of the playoffs?
Well, I said before this game, whoever gets in the final out of us two, I think will go on and win it. And I think on the evidence of today's game, I think that still sticks in my mind.
So in First Division, just that little bit closer. Are you starting to think about it yet?
No, not at all. There's Crystal Palace to overcome in another game, and then there's Watford or Blackburn Rovers.
Lou Macari cautiously optimistic yesterday. Today he was more concerned about the goal that got away when that offside decision ruled out Steve White's score. Still a 1-0 lead, all important for Swindon, as I suspect it is for Rovers, Roger.
That's right.